Medtronic just dropped its latest earnings report, and honestly, it's more than just good numbers. It's a real signal of some major things shifting inside the company. So today, we're going to unpack those numbers, zero in on the one piece of tech that's driving some truly incredible growth, and then get a sneak peek at the new innovations they are betting their future on. Let's get into it.
Now, before we jump into the spreadsheets and percentages, just a quick refresher on who we're talking about. Medtronic is a true giant in the medical technology world. Their mission is to engineer the extraordinary, and that's not just some corporate tagline, right? It's really the core idea behind the very innovations we're about to explore.
Okay, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the headline numbers from their big Q3 beat. Then we're going to dig into the absolutely explosive growth in their cardiovascular unit. After that, we'll meet the new tech that's going to drive their future, get a bird's-eye view of the whole company, and wrap up with what they're forecasting for the road ahead. All right, let's start with the big picture, the Q3 results. And as you're about to see, calling them strong might just be an understatement. So, the main story here is that Medtronic didn't just meet Wall Street's expectations, they comfortably beat them. Analysts were looking for about $8.89 billion in revenue, and Medtronic came in over $9 billion. Same story on the profit side. Their earnings per share hit $1.36, a couple of cents ahead of the forecast. That's the kind of performance that really gets investors to sit up and pay attention.
Let's just pause on that revenue number for a second. $9 billion in one quarter. That's just massive. But what's really impressive is that 6% organic growth. That tells you that the company is growing its core business at a super healthy rate, even after you strip out things like currency changes. It's real, fundamental growth.
So, the big question is, where did this impressive growth actually come from? Well, that leads us straight to our second section, the cardiovascular division. This part of the business was, without a doubt, the engine that powered the whole company this quarter. Okay, take a good look at this number, 80%. And no, that is not a typo. That is the year-over-year revenue growth for their Cardiac Ablation Solutions business. For a company the size of Medtronic, seeing that kind of growth in one area is, well, it's absolutely astounding. It's the key to understanding this entire quarter's success. So what in the world is powering an 80% surge? It all comes down to a technology called pulsed field ablation, or PFA. Now, this is a revolutionary new way to treat atrial fibrillation, irregular heartbeats. Instead of using the old methods of extreme heat or cold, PFA uses precise electric fields, and it is proving to be a total game changer. This one innovation is what's fueling that incredible growth. And you can bet the CEO, Jeff Martha, is feeling optimistic. He basically came out and said that this strong quarter wasn't some kind of fluke. It's proof of the real strength they have across their product lineup. He's making it clear he's betting on their pipeline of new tech to keep this growth engine fired up for a long time. Okay, that's the story of today. Let's pivot and look at tomorrow. It is time to meet the new growth drivers. This is where we get a look inside Medtronic's innovation pipeline, at the products they believe will power the company for years to come. First up is the Hugo surgical robot. This is Medtronic's major answer to the established players in the absolutely booming robotic surgery market. It just got FDA clearance for urologic procedures, so it's officially in the game in the US. But here's the really smart part. It connects with their Touch Surgery AI platform, which is already being used in over 1,000 places around the world. That's a huge head start. Next up, we have the Stealth AXIS system. You can think of this thing as a super intelligent co-pilot for spine surgeons. It combines AI for planning, a robot for incredible precision, and navigation to guide the whole thing. It's an all-in-one package. And the most brilliant part of their strategy, it's designed to plug right into the navigation systems that are already used in most spine surgeries in the US, a market that Medtronic already leads. Then there's Symplicity Spyral. This is a minimally invasive way to treat hypertension or high blood pressure. Just think about how massive that market opportunity is. The early signs are just incredible. A direct consumer ad campaign caused a 50-fold jump in website traffic. And get this, insurance reimbursement is already in place for about 100 million people in the US. That is a huge runaway for growth. And rounding out this next wave is Ultra Viva. This device treats urge urinary incontinence, which affects millions of people. But its biggest claim to fame, its killer feature, is a battery life of up to 15 years. That's just unheard of in this field. And it looks like doctors are already on board. Over 500 of them were trained on the system before it even had its full launch. So, with all that amazing innovation happening, how did the rest of the company do? Let's zoom out now and get the full portfolio picture to see how every business segment performed this quarter.
Okay, looking at the raw numbers here, cardiovascular was obviously the standout star, with over 10% organic growth. But this wasn't a one-man show. The diabetes division also had a really strong quarter, growing at over 8%. And yet, neuroscience and medical surgical had more modest growth, but they are still enormous, stable businesses that are adding to the company's bottom line.
This chart really helps put it all into perspective, doesn't it? You can see just how big that cardiovascular slice of the pie is, which explains why its huge growth had such a massive impact on the whole company. But look at neuroscience and medical surgical. Together, they still make up more than half of the company's revenue. And even though diabetes is the smallest piece, its strong growth is still a really big deal.
All right, our last stop. Let's look at the guidance for the road ahead. This is where the company gives us a hint about what to expect for the rest of the year and into the next. So, what's the takeaway for the future? Well, Medtronic is pretty much telling investors to expect more of the same steady, solid growth for the rest of this year. But the really juicy detail here is their promise of high single-digit earnings growth for next year. That's a huge vote of confidence. It tells you they believe all these new products we just talked about are going to start making a real impact, and soon.
So when you step back and look at the whole picture, it's one of really powerful momentum. Medtronic has this clear growth engine just firing on all cylinders with its PFA technology. And right behind it, they have this massive wave of new innovation coming with Hugo, Stealth Access, Symplicity, and Ultraviva. The big question now, the one we'll all be watching, is this. Can they actually execute on all these complex product launches and navigate the challenges ahead to deliver on those very ambitious promises?